We are live. It is good to be back, bars and grills. We're going to kind of take this, as it goes, play it by ear. I still have a little bit of a residual, post-nasal drip or cough or whatever you want to call that. So I haven't done any straight talking for 2 hours. So we'll see how that goes. Should be okay. So welcome once again. Missed you guys. Let me know how the audio and the video is. Let's see, who do we got? What's already 5? Nope. There we go. There was 5 there. Now there's 3. So 2 people left. So who do we have? We got Ice Hand. We have Miguel Rangel. We have Joshua Maxwell. All right. So I imagine, I know Julie's going to join us today because I just spoke with her. Janice is here. Now it's a party. And you know who else is here? Hang on. Come here. It's Doodle, the Prince of Dogness. Doodle, the Prince of Dogness, who's now leaning against my black shirt. It is now going to be covered with doodle hair. So Doodle, the Prince of Dogness, everybody. Doodle, did you miss them? There everybody is. Everybody's there. Did you miss everybody? They missed you. I bet you they missed you a lot. I missed you too, Doodle. Yep. Oh, you want a snack? All right. No loyalty whatsoever. Just like, I love you, Val. I really do, but I want a snack. All right, we'll give you a snack. And then you run off with that. You'll come back later. You want another snack? That's okay. Here you go. There you go, Doodle. And off he goes. All right, Doodle, the Prince of Dogness, everybody. So hopefully we will have a visit from Doodle again a little later. Doodle, Ice Hand says, bow wow woof. All right, let's see who else we got. Drew Horst has joined us. Welcome, Drew. Have not seen you in a while. Glad you could make it. Yes, you have not been on the stream in years. I do remember that. I have not been on in weeks. So we both have not been on for a while. Getting used to this lighting thing again. So previously, I am back in Colombia, and the time doesn't change. So when I was doing the live streams from Colombia before, it was, I think, 3 p.m. because it was the equivalent of Central Time, and then the time changed, and now it's the equivalent of Eastern Time. So we are in Colombia. It's the equivalent of 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and so I'm going to kind of wing the lighting. I do have a ring light here, and I can make adjustments for that if the outside lighting, which is lighting everything up, changes. So, we're kind of walking through it. And if for those of you who saw my 2026 New Year's message, I said I wanted to kind of change things. I wanted to do things a little bit differently. I want to kind of keep the same format and everything, but I want to kind of expand what we do and how we do it and everything, and do things a little bit differently. So this is the first try at doing something a little bit different. I don't have a bunch of snacks to do. I have some very specific things that we're going to do. We're going to talk about some of the things that are coming up, and then I hopefully over the next live stream or two, I'll be able to work in videos where I can play videos and I can bring in pictures and stuff like that. So hopefully we'll have that set up for either the next one or the one after that. And then ideally, moving forward, would like to do joint live streams with other people. So, maybe Tom, maybe Julie and stuff. So, speaking of Tom, I'm here listening for now. I work in a bit. I'll join the conversation in a while. One thing I did notice is that there seems to be a little bit echoing here, at least for me, and hopefully it's not too much annoying on the audio for you. I have like this curtain in front of me over the window. You can see what the curtain lets the light in, but I have this curtain in front of the window, and I was hoping that it would block echo, but I don't know if it's too echoey for people or not. Let's see. Did I miss any? It is great to be back, Tom. I missed you people. I missed you guys, you folks. I missed everybody, and so I've been kind of out of commission. Not really in bed sick, but just having this constant cough that would make it difficult to do live streaming. So I thought, I'm gonna do it this week. I miss being on. I miss being with you people, you folks, you guys, whatever. and I'm going to try it. So we'll see how it goes. I have water here. I have my adult beverage. We're doing soup today, by the way. We're doing a couple of other things as well, but we are doing soup, and I'll kind of explain that when we get to it. I didn't want to kind of post what we're doing because, again, it's not like we're going to just run through 8 snacks, an adult beverage, and a soft drink. We're kind of doing. We're going to have sort of a meal. It's 2 meals, and again, I'll get into that in a little bit. We have an adult beverage, and we have a few other things to eat. One, you could call it dessert if you want to, and the other one you could call it just something we're going to eat with. So again, we're kind of winging this. We're kind of doing things a little bit differently. I want to do more interactive talking, especially with. I don't think the food. I don't think the channel gets enough emphasis put on the travel. We do some travel, and we have some really cool travel episodes coming up. But as far as the live stream, I don't really do a lot of travel stuff on the live stream. So I'd like to talk about travel a lot as we go through today. We're not going to be doing trivia questions, but that's an interesting question. Let me ask you guys. Let me set up a poll here. Poll. And this is me not being able to type and talk at the same time. Almost there. Okay, poll is up, and the question is: do you want to continue doing the trivia questions? Now, the thing is, it's not a problem for me to put together the trivia questions and stuff. It's easy enough to do, but I just didn't know if you guys found it annoying, that I would ask a question because, like, a lot of people didn't answer it. But maybe it's educational from your standpoint. It's certainly educational from my standpoint when I have to look some of those up. But didn't know if you enjoy that, if you enjoy getting trivia questions during the course of the live stream. So let me know. I put a poll up there. Let me know either way, and the majority wins on this one. So we'll see. Let's see. Did I miss anything? I didn't. Everyone's saying hello to each other. Did I miss anybody come into the room while I'm busy yapping? Because that will happen. So our adult beverage, and again, consider the fact that I'm in Colombia, so it's harder to get some things, but it's easier to get other unusual things that maybe I couldn't get in the States. And so our adult beverage today is going to be Erdinger Brauhaus Naturradler. So it's a radler. It's a wheat-based radler, not rattler like a rattlesnake. Radler, R-A-D-L-E-R, which is usually mixed with lemonade or lemon juice or things along those lines. So they look pretty good. We're going to give that a try. And then we have what we're going to do is we're going to dig into a sort of a meal. All right. So I found this in the local grocery, and this is from Nissin. You guys know Nissin. It's funny because they have the Nissin logo here, but they also put the big Nissin letters, going across the back here to tell you that this is Nissin ramen, in case you couldn't figure out that it was ramen and it was from Nissin. So this is Nissin ramen, and it's sabor a costilla. Now, I always get corrected on that because I say costilla because I'm used to like Mexican Spanish, but Colombian Spanish is a little bit different, and they pronounce the double L like a J. So I will say it like the Colombians do, and I say sabor a costilla. And costilla is ribs. So you can see right here, they give you a picture of the ribs. And so this is supposed to be like caldo de costilla. And caldo de costilla is typically a soup that they serve for breakfast. It's supposed to be like one of those hangover things, like menudo. And they typically serve it for breakfast. But I found that this ramen that is supposed to be the sabor a costilla, which is, the flavor of ribs. And it is a soup. Now, the Colombian caldo de costilla it doesn't have ramen or noodles or anything in it. It does have potatoes in it. Typically will have potatoes in it. And so we're going to do 2 things. We're going to try the ramen. I've already made the ramen because, obviously had to make it on the stove. And I've already made the ramen. Here, I'll let you have a look at that. I mean, you know, it's ramen looking, right? It's a kind of a dark brownish gray broth. I'm going to stir that a little bit because it looks like the top part might be drying out a little bit. And stir that up. So that is the Nishin costilla ramen. And then we have an actual bowl of, and let's see if I can do this without spilling it all over myself. Here, can you guys see that? You know, you guys see that. I don't want to tip it too much. So this is the actual caldo de costilla. Costilla. Am I saying that right? I always second guess myself. Costilla. And so, oh my God, that smells so good. It's a slow cooked soup with whole ribs in it. Now, depending on where you get this, different restaurants, you can ask them to cut the meat off of it. Otherwise, they'll just leave it on the bone, which is kind of cool for me. And you can see it has potatoes. And so we got this at Los Gallos, or Los Gallos, right? At Los Gallos here in Villa de Leyva. They've been around for a while, and they do really, really cool but simple breakfast. So one of the things that they have there that a lot of the other breakfast places don't have is changua. And what changua is a breakfast soup that is made with milk, eggs, onion. I'm not sure what else is in it, but I know there's milk, eggs, and onion in it. Very, very good. And so they provided, we got the caldo de costilla from them. So thank you, John, at Los Gallos for the soup. And it's not a surprise for me because I've had their soup on multiple occasions. It's very, very good. And so what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to kind of use this to taste, to compare against the Nishin ramen, the flavor of the Nishin ramen, and see how close it comes. And then, have some of the other soup too. So there we go. Hey, Nashies is here. Okay, now it's a party. It's ramen looking. Well, no, the caldo de costillo is not ramen looking because it has no ramen in it. There's no noodles in it at all. The only solid things in it is potatoes and ribs, beef ribs. So let's see. Did I miss anything? Keep me honest, guys. Did anyone else sneak in the room? Looks like we had 8 people now. I got Nashies. Potatoes. Yes. So speaking of potatoes, I'm in the process of working on an episode, and it's going to be a viewer's choice. And so Megan Zappa suggested this, and so I don't want to get too much into what it is because I want it to kind of be kind of a surprise. But it involves French fries, and I'm going to make French fries from scratch here. And so because we were talking about potatoes, and I'm using this. Now this is kind of an odd looking potato because it's kind of flat and round. There's 2 that look very similar to this. One is called negra potatoes, which is black potato because it almost has like this black looking skin, and the other one is pastusa potatoes. And pastusa potatoes have kind of a pinkish skin. They are very dark brown, but you can see like this kind of pinkish skin at the top and underneath, and that's what I'm going to use for that. Now, pastusa potatoes are recent. So they were developed in the mid-20th century, and typically you're going to find that potato used in a lot of the stews and soups that they make in Colombia. So the ajiaco, and most likely that's the kind of potato that's in the caldo de costilla. There are especially because we're here in Colombia, we're here in the Andes Mountains, that there are, all kinds of variety of potatoes. I think we did a Colombian meal one time where we had the little tiny, what are they? The papas criollas, the little ones. We have some more of those. We're going to be eating those, enjoying those. But most potatoes started from the same potato grown in the Andes Mountains I mean, a couple thousand years ago, and now there's like 5,000 varieties of potatoes. So if you're a potato aficionado, if you like potatoes, there's so big a difference in potatoes. I mean, like if you ever go to, now I know they have one in Portland, Oregon, and I know they have one in Boise, Idaho, because I've been to both. It's a place called Boise Fry Company, and when you go into Boise Fry Company, they usually have maybe like 5 or 6 different kinds of potatoes that they'll make all kinds of dishes with. And so they'll put them on the board and show you what they have. Like they might have Yukon Gold, they might have Burbank Russet, they might have, one of these, something like this. And they'll put the name of the potato, and there's like, 4, maybe 5 of them. And then there's a grid, and the grid tells you the best way to make them. Like, so some of them are better for mashed potatoes, and some of them are better for French fries, and some of them are better for hash browns. So depending on the texture and how they hold up when they're cooked, the potatoes can have a tendency to lend themselves to different preparations, So can't wait to see the adult beverage for today. Well, we should get into that. I have lids on the soup because I don't want the soup to get cold and everything. But we will start with our adult. I mean, some things we'll keep the same. And this isn't to say that moving forward, like let's say sometime in the future, that we're just not gonna. We'll do a regular type of a live stream like we've been doing the grab bag. Where we're doing like 8 snacks, adult beverage, and a soft drink. We go back and do that and everything. I just wanted to kind of change it up today. Well, especially because, again, how many of you have seen my New Year's message? Anybody out there? Did you ever actually see the new message? Because I basically wanted to talk about how we wanted to change things and make things a little bit different and everything. But, keep a lot of the stuff that people like, and just change it up every once in a while. Just change it up. So, okay. So Nashies, that's kind of what we're doing. I'm trying to do things a little bit differently today. And again, while we're in the course of going through this, we don't have to time it so much that we have to get, because we have to get through 8 snacks, and we don't. What are we going to be eating today? We're going to be trying this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 things, but they're all it's all kind of a meal. So, Joshua, if you're not sure, it's up there. So I suggest that if you guys haven't seen it, because it's just kind of basically my feelings going into 2026 and how we want to do things differently. And I suggest you guys watch that. And if you have any comments of that and say like, Val, don't ever change this, or Val, what would be cool if you could do this or something like that, then just add it to that video, and and we'll get that. I've had some great suggestions. Somebody, I can't remember who it was, that asked me a question in a comment, and I said, hey, if you're on today's live stream, ask that question on the live stream. If they don't ask that question on the live stream, they don't come in and ask the question on the live stream, I'll ask the question, or I'll answer the question, and we'll put it in there. But I do want to talk about travel today. So just to get started, let's go ahead and do our adult beverage. And again, this is from Erdinger Weissbrau, which is Erdinger Brauhaus, and this is Naturradler. This is only 2.6 ABV. Now, here's the funny thing about Colombia. This is only 2.6 ABV. 2.6 ABV is like nothing, but it still has, there we go. It still has that excess alcohol message on there. Just like you probably notice on the ramen, we have the excess in sodium, and exceso en grasas saturadas, excess in saturated fats. So we do have the warning saying that there's excess alcohol in there. It's 2.6% ABV. I don't know how they get that as excess alcohol. Erdinger Weissbrau is the world's largest wheat brewery, and it was founded in 1886 by Johann Keinle, I think it's Keinle, in Erding, Germany. So that's where the Erdinger comes from, Erding, Germany. So let's go ahead and get this open. Radler is typically a summer drink because, it usually has like lemonade in it, but, it doesn't have to be. And here, where the climate is the same, exactly the same all year round, it doesn't really matter. It was really funny. We were in the village the other day. We were in a restaurant. I think we were in Los Gallos, and somebody walked in and they go, "Oh, it's hot out." You know, in Spanish, of course. It's hot out. And I looked at my phone and it was like, it's 70. But it feels hot. So the thing is, here, we're in the mountains. We're at 7,000 feet above sea level. We are very close to the equator. So we get the exact same amount of sun, the exact same quality of sunlight 365 days a year. So the sun is almost directly above us because we're not on the equator, but we're near the equator. So we get the exact same amount of daylight per day. It's about, I want to say like 6:30 to 6:30 or 6 to 6, somewhere around there. But 12 hours of daylight, the exact same 12 hours of daylight. And because of that, you would think that being close to the equator and everything, it would be hot. But because we're at the altitude of 7,000 feet, it is not hot. And it's typically 70 degrees every day. And so on days when it's not cloudy out and the sun is like directly on you, you can feel the sun, you can feel the radiation from the sun on you, and it feels hotter, but it's still only 70 degrees. And then on days when it's like raining or windy, it feels cooler than 70 degrees, but you look at the temperature and it's still just 70 degrees. Erdinger, Radler, lemon, and beer. Yep, you can't go wrong with that. Hey, Julie's here. Hi, hun. Glad to see you. Well, I mean, glad to talk with you here. We'll talk later. All right, so let's go ahead and, not my Trippy food beer glass, but I got to find that. It's got that kind of lemonade color, that yellow lemonade color. And again, this is a wheat beer that they're using for the Radler. I keep on reverting back to almost saying Rattler, but it's Radler. Radler. I have to pronounce that properly. All right. Did anybody else come in, Jules? Did I miss anybody out? No, because there's 10 people in there. So, maybe some people are lurking. They just don't have anything to say yet. And that's okay. Ooh, that's a nice smell. It smells fruity. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. That is very lemony. It doesn't taste, it's not tart like lemonade. It's like sweet. To me, it tastes like a lemon pie. And I'm not, I guess you just call it lemon, like a lemon meringue pie, the lemon filling in a lemon meringue pie. That's what it tastes like. It reminds me of a lemonade of a lemon meringue pie. Now, again, it's a 2.6 ABV, so there's not a strong alcohol bite to that. You do get a little bit of that wheat beer taste, but it is very lemony forward, but it's a sweet lemon forward. It's really nice. It's very, very nice. Very refreshing, very nice. Lemon wouldn't melt, so I put it in a pie. Hold that thought, Jules. I want to talk about that. So yeah, that's a big thumbs up. So you guys get a chance to try this. I don't know. I mean, I don't think they only sell this in Colombia, but it is Natürlich mit Fruchtiger Zitrone. My German is not very good. I don't do a very good German accent, but that is excellent. That is really, really good. Very, very refreshing. So I could see sitting out on the back porch there, just, drinking this on a warm 70 degree day. Drew Horst, welcome. Drew, did I recognize you earlier? I thought I did. I might not have, but that's okay. But welcome, Drew. Okay. So I do also want to talk about travel. So let me start out by asking this question. Not everybody in the chat right now is from the US. I'm assuming most of you, if not all of you, right now are from the US. But here's a question for you guys. How many different states, and you could just put a number, you don't actually have to put the names of the states, but how many different states and or countries have you lived in? So I would say like, tell me how many different states you've lived in and how many other countries you've lived in. I always find that it's actually a surprising number. Now, as far as living in countries, I'm gonna say Colombia. I'm gonna count Colombia. And so for me, how many countries I've lived in? Just two, the United States and Colombia. How many states have I visited? I visited all 50. I've visited all 50 states. And when I say visit, I don't mean I've been through the airport in that state. I just mean, I visited all 50 states. I've lived in two countries, if you consider that, this living in Colombia. And as far as other countries I've visited, let's see, Canada, Mexico, Colombia naturally, France, Spain, the UK. I think that's it. Ones I visited. Now I've been through other, like I said, I spent, I think it was like 4 hours in Dublin Airport, but I'm not counting that as like I've been to Ireland and everything. So, but I'm just curious as to you guys, what your travel history is like. Like where have you lived in a bunch of different places? Some people still live in the same city where they were born and raised. And some people have never, they travel outside of that city, but they still live in the same city where they were born and raised. For me, it was like, I've lived in 5 different states. And so it's hard to tell people what home is when when you've lived in 5 states like that. I mean, some for a long time, some for not a long time. Lived in Pennsylvania for 6 years, first 6. And then for 25 or 26 years, lived in Massachusetts. I grew up in Massachusetts. Then I lived in Texas, specifically Austin, Texas, for like 13 years. And then I came here in 2003, that's Southern California. Lived in Southern California, moved to Southern California in 2003, lived there till 2015. In 2015, I moved to Portland, Oregon, lived in Beaverton and Portland, lived in the Portland, Oregon area for 4 years. And then in 2019 came back to Southern California, lived in Southern California for, whatever, until last year. And so now I'm kind of in flux. So now I kind of like don't have a home right now, but kind of working through that. So let's see. Drew visited about 13 states and Canada and Mexico. Nashi's been to 12 or 13 states, visited 4 countries, and lived in 2 states. So Nashi's, you are in Nevada now, if I'm not mistaken. But you were not born in Nevada. You were born somewhere else, and that's the other state that you lived in. Which state? Let's see. Iceland, lived in 2 states, visited 6 countries. That's not bad. That's kind of cool. 6 countries. Janice, you just visited Mexico, but you've always lived in California, Janice? Visited 9 states plus DC. Yeah. Yeah, I visited Washington, D.C. and St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands. So, but you can't count those as states because they're not states. All right, so here's what we're going to do, only because this is soup and soup is getting cold and I don't want it to get cold. I mean, it's covered and everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the Nishin ramen. Again, I'm familiar with the caldo de costilla. So I'm going to try the Nishin ramen and see how close that comes to it. This, by the way, is a product of Brazil. So this is made in Brazil. And Nishin Food Products is founded in Izumiyotsu. I think I'm saying that right. Izumiyotsu, Osaka, Japan, by Momofuku Ando in 1948. He is the inventor of the world. He is the inventor of the world's first instant noodles. So it was Momofuku Ando invented the instant noodles. The first ones were called chicken ramen, and these were invented in 1958. So the thing about this one that says rib flavored seasoning, I have no idea what that means, but we're going to go ahead and try this. Hang on, I have to write mine down to count. Yeah, you have been to a lot of places, Jules. Only lived in Carry the Four. Oh, yeah, exactly. Nothing wrong with it. Hey, Grub Warp is here. Welcome, Grub Warp. Glad you could make it. All right. Visited. Janice, what part of Mexico did you visit? I'm curious. I have been to. I have visited. Let's see. What cities have I visited? I visited Matamoros, Nuevo Laredo, Ensenada, and Tulum. I don't think I ever stayed overnight in any of the Mexican cities, but those are the Mexican cities that I visited. I would love to go to. I want to go to Mexico City, and I mean, because I just heard that the cuisine is just off the hook. And I also want to go to Tijuana. And everyone says, you don't want to go to Tijuana? Yeah, I do want to go to Tijuana. I want to specifically go to Caesar's. Caesar's is a hotel and restaurant in Tijuana. It is where the Caesar salad was invented. And it had closed for a while. And then there's a Mexican chef. His name is Javier Placienta. And he reopened Caesar's. And so I want to go to Tijuana and get a Caesar salad at Caesar's. Been to Cancun, Mexico City, and Monterrey. I hear Monterrey is beautiful. I've never been there. Honduras is its own country. No, Honduras is a separate country. Yes, Jules, it is. Cancun for our honeymoon, Mexico City for a layover, and Tijuana. We had. So you went to visit Tijuana, Janice. What did you think? Did you, because like everybody says it's very dangerous and everything. I think the thing about a place being dangerous is, like, yes, some places are more dangerous than other places, but some places are just dangerous if you're looking for trouble, right? So like if you go out drinking and you're loud and you look and act very American, and you're not conscious of where you're going and everything else like that, yeah, then it can be very dangerous. I don't think I would drive into Mexico. I think I would like take a bus or something going into Mexico, but I've always wanted to go to Tijuana, and I just don't know. So Janice, what did you think? What was your take of Tijuana? Adam says, been to 12 states, lived in one, visited one different country, need to make it 13 states. My mom's bio dad lives in Oklahoma, and so does my girlfriend. Oklahoma? Only two things from Oklahoma. No, I've been to Tulsa and Oklahoma City. I think those are the only two. I think those are the only two cities in Oklahoma that I've been to. I've stayed in. Just been to Guanajuato, Mexico. Where is Guanajuato, Mexico, Miguel? Where is that in relation to to Mexico? Is it in the north? Is it in the central part of Mexico? Because I'm not familiar with that. Also went to some of the ruins in Isla Mujeres, Tulum, Zelha. Janice, I've been to Tulum. Tulum is beautiful. Has that that Caribbean blue water, or kind of turquoise colored water, and the ruins are spectacular. When I went, the ruins were closed. They used to be able to walk up to the temple, but I guess somebody spray painted or something, and they had to close that. So that was really annoying. Lived in Oklahoma for a year. Yeah, it is very affordable. All right, so here we go. So these are the Nishin ramen sabor a costilla, or rib flavored. And it's beef rib flavor. Let's try this. It's not as salty. It does have a nice flavor. I like the noodles. It's a pretty good broth. It's a pretty good broth. I don't know how close it is, but here's how we're going to find out. So let's see if I missed anything. Tijuana was okay. There was a lot of street vendors that try to get you to buy their stuff. There is. Oh, there absolutely is. Well, because again, if you think of Mexico in general, it's not a it's not a very wealthy country. There's not a lot of wealthy people in Mexico, and so you have like a lot of those people count on tourism for their money, and so you will have people walking up to you. Here in Colombia, we are in a tourist town, and so it's not uncommon to be sitting in a restaurant and just have somebody come to you, go asking if you want to buy marijuana cream and stuff like that. And it's just not uncommon, and you just have to just kind of politely say, "Oh no, thank you," because gracias, no, because they're just trying to make a living, but you can't help everybody. Need to visit most of the states I've been proper. The only states I've been to proper are Maryland, Pennsylvania, Virginia, South Carolina, Florida, and Tennessee. Those mostly driving distance from each other, with the exception of Florida, maybe. But what is on your bucket list, Adam? So honest. So for some people, their bucket list is all 50 states, right? But some of them have a I really want to visit these particular states, and eventually all 50. So in my journey to visit all 50, I had several jobs that involved travel, and it was U.S. and Canada, and so I did a lot of travel around the U.S., and that's where I got to most of the states. And then afterwards, when I wasn't traveling for work, I had to figure out how am I going to get, because I had a deadline set for myself as to when I was going to be able to go to all 50 states. And so basically what I did was it kind of in my head. I said, like, okay, these are the states that I'm missing. How am I going to get to these states, and in what order do I want to do that and everything? So I had never been to South Dakota, and I'd never been to Wyoming. So this was back like 2007, I think it was, somewhere around there. And so I planned this trip in February for my birthday, in February, going to Wyoming and South Dakota. And that's kind of crazy to do, but didn't have to worry about tourists. So I went to South Dakota, stayed in Rapid City, I think it's Rapid City. And then while I was there, I went to Wall Drug. I went out to the Badlands. I went to Deadwood. And then I took a side trip and I stayed overnight. I went to see Devil's Tower in Wyoming. So that was like me trying to get to the states that I hadn't been to. Then I planned another trip in the middle of the country. My base of operations was Omaha, Nebraska, and then I was going to visit Kansas. I'd been to Iowa before. It's going to be Kansas, and then I was going to drive up through Iowa to into South Dakota, and then up into North Dakota, and then drive across North Dakota into Montana, which I did. And so that was that. And then the only thing left, I think, was after that was South Carolina. Hadn't been to South Carolina. And so I made a special trip to go out to South Carolina and stayed in the Charleston area and saw a lot of things around the Charleston area and everything. And boom, that was done. That was my 50 states. Need to explore the Northeast, only briefly visited New York City and New Jersey. Yeah, New England's wonderful. It's really wonderful. Portmanteau, if you get a chance to go up there in the fall, to me that's the best time. I mean, it can be cold, and if you're not used to that weather, it can. Just for some people, it can be a little bit chilly. But for me, New England in the fall, amazing, and it's surprisingly easy to go from state to state there. I mean, you can go from the southwest corner of Maine and drive to the northwest corner of New Jersey and go through like 5 or 6 states, and you can do this in like 5 hours. So it's very, very easy to get around there. And I mean, obviously, yeah, you just see the corner of Maine, but if you have time and you want to spend about a week and you just kind of tool around New England, I highly recommend it. It's just, and again, that's probably the best time to go. The spring is really nice. The summers can be really hot and humid. And the winters can be brutal. So, you want to make sure that you can be able to fly in and fly out if that's what you're going to do. But yeah, I highly recommend that, Portmanteau. Did I welcome you, by the way, Portmanteau? I don't know that I did. And I'm going to say hello. So people are kind of sneaking into the room. I need to make sure that. So Janice, you're saying He went to Tijuana. It was probably 40 or so years ago. It might have changed. It might have, might not. I don't. It's hard to say. I have, nothing to compare it to because I haven't been. But it is on my bucket list to go to Tijuana. A guy I watch on YouTube. Yeah, I follow the Carpetbagger. He's on a goal to visit every state fair. He's only missing Wyoming, but technically also Hawaii. But they stopped theirs for the time being. Yeah, the fun thing about the state fairs is that the New England states don't have individual state fairs. So there's how many? Six states. Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island are the New England states. And they have a single fair. It's called the Big A. It's in Springfield, Massachusetts. And they have that every year. So I wanted to go this year. I missed it this year. But again, another bucket list thing is to go to the Big A, which is the kind of, I'm going to call it the New England State Fair. All right. Who else did I miss? And did I miss any questions? You guys got to keep me honest because, I go on rambling and then I don't welcome people to the room and then they ask questions and I don't recognize it, or they answer my question and I don't recognize that. So guys, keep me honest. Let me know. Did I cover everybody? Did I get everybody? Did I welcome everybody? Let me know. Please let me know. Oh yeah, Adam the Woo. That was messed up. Yeah, a lot of YouTubers, recently, I think. We lost a lot of YouTubers. And Bob Weir, yeah. Now, Miguel, is Bob Weir the last of the Grateful Dead, people in the Grateful Dead? Was he the last one? They went through a thing of like it was bad luck to be a keyboard player for the Grateful Dead because their keyboard players all died in different ways too. So it was kind of like a bad omen if you got chosen to be a keyboard player for the Grateful Dead. You're kind of like a drummer for Spinal Tap, right? But I didn't know. Was he the last one? The Big E, the Big A is the shub. Did I say Big A? Did I say Big A? Somebody, I don't know if you guys ever watch Stephen Colbert, but Stephen Colbert, every once in a while, he has a celebrity on and he does the Colbert questionnaire. And he asks them a bunch of questions and he asks them favorite sandwich, right? And I think some of them keep it generic, like, bacon, lettuce, and tomato, right? But then some of them get very, very specific about a sandwich they ate in a very, very specific place. And so if I was to take the Stephen Colbert questionnaire and the question is, what is your favorite sandwich? I'm going to say the Italian sub at the Big A in Malden, Massachusetts. It's like I have to have it. If I'm going to be in the Boston area, I have to go to the Big A in Malden, Massachusetts and get their Italian sub. For me, it's just, maybe there's better Italian subs, but for some reason, it's just like that one hits. The Italian sub at Big A. Well, let me ask you this. All right, this is a good question to ask you guys. There are 2 more survivors of the Grateful Dead. So which ones do you know? Jules, don't do this to me. I wonder if they will airdrop an Italian on Piantadosi. Jules, why did you do that? Let me ask you that question, all right? Because this is a valid Trippy food question, right? We're all about food. We're all about travel. So let me ask you this question. What is your favorite sandwich? So either like this life-changing sandwich that you ate at this one particular restaurant or something, or just like your go-to, I love a Fluffernutter, anytime, Fluffernutter, whatever it is. What is your favorite sandwich? Let's see, Bill Kreutzmann and Mickey Hart. Oh, okay. I'm sure they'll drone you some, maybe. All right, so we tried that broth. We had that broth. So we're gonna try the caldo de costilla from John's. Now, typically what you're gonna wanna do is, you can see, there's just like a big honking hunk of rib in here, right? And these big pieces of potato. But right now, what I'm gonna do before I dig into those is I'm going to try the broth so I can compare the broth to what is in the Nishin one. And those little green things floating around, that's cilantro. Oh my God, that's so good. Now, there's something, this is maybe a little bit saltier, but there's something missing from that the Nishin ramen, that kind of, maybe it's beef fat. Maybe that's what it is, because there's something that kind of stays on your tongue from this in this broth that I don't get from the Nishin. Just kind of stays on your tongue. Yeah. Yeah, it's like beef fat, and that's kind of what's missing from the Nishin ramen. Now, again, the Nishin ramen was pretty good, and I say if you were to try it, you might just give it a thumbs up because it's good. It is good, but being that it was comparing itself to caldo de costilla, I'm comparing it to caldo de costilla, and it's good, but it's not really close. It's still going to get a thumbs up. It's still going to get a thumbs up for me. But the caldo de costilla is just like incredible. So here's what I'm going to do. Because I have this here, I'm going to eat this. And I guess that's what we're going to do here is during the course of this live stream, I'm going to continue to eat the caldo de costilla. And so here I got a nice, well, maybe that might be a little bit big piece of rib. So a little story about my eating habits, I suppose. When I was a kid, my mom made steak. And if you know anything about my upbringing, that was rare for us to have steak, but she made steak. And I was chewing a piece of steak. I had it in my mouth. And then I picked up another piece with my fork, and my mom said, "Swallow that before you eat another piece of steak." So I just went, and I swallowed the chunk of steak. I don't know why I'm not dead. By all rights, I should be dead. But, I took her literally. All right, so here we go. So here we got a nice spoonful of the caldo de costilla with a nice piece of rib in there and a nice big chunk of potato. That is so good. And to me, it's really odd that this is typically a breakfast soup. You can eat it any time of the day. It's just odd to me that's kind of a breakfast soup. That's so good. Here's what I'm going to do. All right, let's see. Lately, I've just been doing dill pickle as the bread and using the lemon pepper tuna and making a small. Oh, so Jules, who was that? Janice, because I think you reviewed it. I think it was Jersey Mike's. They do like that. They take a big dill pickle and they use that like as the bread, and they put meats and stuff inside that. But I'm trying to remember, Janice, did you review that? I want to say that you reviewed that when we were in Grand Central Market. Did we review that in Grand Central Market? You can see the fresh herbs in that. That's actually cilantro. So the funny thing is like they let the cilantro grow big here. So you have what you're familiar with, the typical cilantro leaves, but then you have this kind of like fuzzy. It almost looks like dill that comes off the end of that. And same flavor, and so that it gets chopped up. So that's kind of what's in here is the dill. I don't know if you can see here. See if you can do it on a spoon where I don't get it all over the place. So we had some fresh cilantro in there, and I cut that up and put that in here because typically when you go to a restaurant and you order this, it's going to have cilantro in it. They do a lot of cilantro down here. So if you're one of those people who are predisposed, did I even say that? Predisposed to not like cilantro, then well, you could always ask them not to put it in there, but I don't know if you can see that or not. But yeah, that's cilantro in there. Jimmy John's has a pickle wedge. Yeah, we never reviewed that. I don't know why. I suppose we could always make one, but I was gonna say it looks like dill. Yeah, it does look like dill, but it is cilantro. Straight to jail. Julie is one of those people that is predisposed to not like cilantro. So to Julie, she has that genetic thing where cilantro tastes like soap. No, we had I remember the flight of loaded mini pickles, and may God have mercy on our soul. They had, but I think they had the Pickle Witch at the other one because they have two. They had two locations in the farmers market, and I think at one location they do the Pickle Witch, and at the other location they do the loaded mini pickles. So let my cilantro go wild and get fuzzy. Yeah. Oh, Steve Russell came in. I'm sorry, Steve. Welcome, Steve. Let's see, did I miss anything else? Gotta keep me honest, guys. All right, so as long as we are, I'm gonna come back to you. I'm gonna come back to you, Soup, I promise. I'm gonna eat you. All right, so this is one of the things when you go to a restaurant and you get the caldo de Castilla. I'm saying it right now, Costilla. They will give you an arepa with that. And with some of them, they will melt some cheese on top of the side. Kind of bright there, but I can see that. They melt some cheese on it. What kind of cheese is that? I don't know. But they'll melt some cheese on that. And arepas typically, people might put some butter on that, a little bit of salt on that. How would I describe this? It is like, it is thicker than a tortilla. It's made with corn typically. Sometimes it might be made with wheat, or maybe it's just white corn. And the different departments. So a department in Colombia is like a state, right? So you have Cundinamarca, you have Boyacá. These are different. They call them departments, and they're like states in Colombia. And every department makes their arepas a little bit different. So some of them, they're almost like corn cakes. They're only about that big. They're thick. And they're made with yellow corn, and they got pieces of corn in them. Everybody makes them a little bit different. Some of them stuff them. I think maybe they stuff them with cheese, maybe. And then, like in Venezuela, what they'll do is they'll take an arepa and they'll fold it in half, and then they'll stuff it with a bunch of stuff. So they might have chicken in it and other things in it. So this is just with cheese melted on top of it. What kind of cheese? I don't know. That's really good. Papayas like that from me, Julie. It tastes like vomit. Both to me and my dad. Now, I know a lot of people say that, and I know it also can smell that way, Nashies. Is that also a genetic predisposition that for papaya is like it? Because I know a lot of people can't even touch papaya. I like papaya. Here's the $1 million question. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Steve. I talked about that earlier, and I was saying somebody had asked me that question, and I said, bring it up on the live stream. So that was you. So we're talking about food, and his question was, would you eat human meat if it were legal to do so? And for me, I'm going to say there are two situations where I would eat human meat, and none of them have to do with the legality of it, right? So somebody I worked with asked me that question one time. Like, well, you wouldn't eat people, would you? And I go, in two circumstances, right? And again, yeah, I heard him barking too, Jules. I don't know. Maybe he'll be in. Maybe he's just barking at them, somebody outside or something. All right. So two situations where I would eat human meat. One is, let's say I was in a car accident, and in that car accident, my leg got mangled so badly that they couldn't save it. They couldn't reattach it. In that case, I would basically say, hey, do me a favor, put that on ice for me. Can you wrap that up to go? I would definitely do that. I mean, and somebody goes like, why would you do that? And it's like, hey, it's part of me anyways. It's just going back in. What difference does it make, right? So I would definitely do that. The other circumstance is, let's say I was in a South American soccer team, and my plane crashed in the Andes. I'm not going to starve to death. And so the person who asked me this question, I mentioned that to them, and they said, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I would have to die. And I go like, I would have to eat you. But it's not like I would go like, oh boy, here's my chance to try that. But from a survival standpoint, I would do that from a survival standpoint. You do what you got to do. Although to be humorous about it, I think my friend Eddie and I, when we were doing Kamikaze Kitchen, they filmed a spot for us for the Carson Daly Show, and we were talking about that, and he's like, I can't remember. Is it that we would eat your leg or that we would eat my leg? And I'm like, no, because you said you wouldn't eat your leg, but you would eat my leg. And we were going through this whole thing. And I just kind of looked at the camera and said something like, yeah, I'm the last guy you want to get stuck in an elevator with. Like, the doors close and they don't open for 2 minutes. I'm looking for the weakest person in the elevator. That's not true, but does that accurately answer your question, Steve? Does that answer your question? I can see how mangoes would swing that way for some. Mangoes? Well, I never really get that from mangoes. Now, the thing I heard about mangoes, I don't know how true this is, but the mangoes are in the same family as poison ivy. And so you're not supposed to eat the skin of the mangoes. And I don't know if that's true or not, that you're not supposed to eat the skin of the mango. The thing about mangoes that I love is, like, I don't know if you guys have seen that, but there's these people, mango has a big flat pit in it. It's about that big, right? And there's people who can cut a mango, get that pit out, and then they cut like these lines into it and kind of fold it out so that there's these little blocks sticking up, and you just eat it like that. I have no idea how to do that. I have no idea whatsoever how to do that. I have trouble getting the pit out of it and everything. I do love the flavor of mango. I like mango when it's in like salsas and stuff, like a mango habanero salsa. You put it on top of a brick of cream cheese, eat that with crackers. Oh my God, that is so good. Let me complicate the question. If they cultured human flesh for consumption, just vats of cells, would you buy and eat it? Well, the thing is, if they did that and it's cultured and it's specifically for food, yeah, I'd be curious to try that. Ice hand. I would be curious to try that. But like if I went to if I went to a country and I got stuck with cannibals and they offered me food, I would probably have to eat it only because they offered it to me. And if I turned it down, I might be the next meal. So I don't know if that, mildly allergic to mango skin, Tom goes, no, yeah, but that might be, Nashi's that reason. That's what I'd heard. I don't know if somebody wants to look that up or if anybody knows that mangoes are in the same family as poison ivy. And so you're really not supposed to eat the skin at all. That's what I heard. So are you talking about the inside of the skin or the outside of the skin? Because I think you're just not supposed to eat the skin at all. That's what I hear. All right, so let's see. What was I going to do? All right, I'm going to do that in a minute, but let's get to this first. So we tried our arepa. So now I'm going to try this. Bear with me 1 second here. Housekeeping. Okay, so this is, I know I wrote this down. Okay, this is, if you guys can see that, it's pan de queso paipa y jalapeno. Now, pan de queso paipa and paipa y jalapeno is jalapeno and queso paipa bread, right? And queso paipa is a local cheese that is it's produced from semi-skim raw cow's milk, and it's only produced in the towns of Paipa and Sotaquira in the valley of Sogamoso in Boyacá department. So very, 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 very limited place where I guess if you want to call it queso paipa, it has to come from Paipa or Sotaquira specifically. There's a few villages and towns around here that are specifically cheese-making towns. One of them is Ubate. And Ubate is so famous for their cheese that when you drive in, there's like a little traffic circle, or rotary, as we used to call them in Massachusetts, or roundabout, as they call them in the U of K. When you drive into town, and there's that little traffic circle there, and in the middle of it, there's a statue of a cow. That's how famous their cheese is. A little statue of a cow as you drive into the village. So this is from Astral Taller de Pan Artesanal. And it was founded in 2002 by Manuela Peralta in Villaleva, Colombia. And so when you walk past this place, just the smell is like, it's like one of those things in the cartoon where you see the smell going like this and like hooking you under the nose and just like pulling you into the store. That's what it's like. So I'm going to try this. pan de queso paipa y jalapeno. So it has that queso paipa cheese and jalapeno in it. I'm gonna cut that in half so we can look at it, the cross section. There's little bits of the jalapeno there. I'm not seeing the cheese. Oh, okay. So there's a chunk of the cheese there. Mangoes are related to poison ivy. Yeah, I've heard that too. So Nashies, that probably explains why your mouth went numb, is because you're not supposed to eat the skin or touch the skin. Apparently, it doesn't hurt your hands any, but you're not supposed to eat the skin because it was related to poison ivy. Ooh, the jalapeno in here is sneaky. Kind of comes up later. The bread is delicious, absolutely delicious. It's kind of spongy, but not like cake. It tastes like maybe it has a sourdough base. I'm definitely getting sourdough flavor here. So they're probably using a sourdough bread and putting chunks of that cheese and the jalapeno in there. Oh, that's outstanding. That was really good. Now, when you go to some place and you get a soup, typically you've got your arepa and you can kind of dip that. But it's always nice to have like a chunk of bread or something like that and kind of dip that in the broth. Really, really nice. So yeah, that's a thumbs up. That's awesome. And this was just baked yesterday, so it was really, really fresh. All right, so here's what I'm going to do now is I have my caldo de costilla, and I'm going to cut that rib. There's not even a bone in there. It's just like rib meat. It's like solid rib meat. Usually, if we go out and we get the caldo de costilla, I bring home the bone, the rib bone, because usually it comes with the rib bone in it, and I usually give the bone to Doodle, but I like to rinse it off first because the soup is made with garlic and onion, and those are two things that a dog shouldn't eat: garlic and onion. I don't have a camera on this right now, but I'm cutting up meat and potatoes, and I don't particularly think that's a exciting thing. I think you guys know what I'm going to do here. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm going to do here. I mean, this could get me kicked out of Colombia, but hopefully not. I am going out there live. Let's see. Oh, cashews, yeah. Like I heard that you like the cashews grow kind of weird. It almost looks like this little bulb, and then there's a little part that comes down. But the fruit, for lack of a better term, that surrounds the cashews is really, really highly toxic. So you have to get that nut out there, and then they roast the nut and everything. It's not too bad. But I mean, a lot of like almonds. If you eat raw almonds, and if you eat enough raw almonds, it can generate cyanide gas and kill you. So that's why they always say, like, if you go into like an old factory or something and you smell almonds, get out, because it's cyanide gas. Soylent Green was dead people. If that cultured flesh would be different. Oh, I said, are you talking about like living flesh? That's kind of weird. Oh, no, I see. You're making the differentiation between you're eating dead people and you're eating, manufactured or laboratory meat. Yeah. Cashew apple. That's what they call the fruit, the cashew apple, which is like, I think it will kill you if I'm not mistaken. Again, guys, let me know if I miss anything. I'm over here like cutting meat and potatoes up. So here's what I'm going to do. I've got my caldo de costilla. Costilla. I don't know why that's so hard for me. And we're going to I know, I mean, this broth is okay, but you guys can't see what I'm doing here, right? I'm gonna take this, which is our Nishin noodles, and I'm gonna put it in this. And we're gonna see how that goes. Should be interesting. I think those noodles probably soaked up enough of the broth. That's a lot of noodles. All right, that should be enough. We'll just put that in there. And I think I'm just gonna put like just a little bit of this broth in there. I mean, you can tell it's a completely different color. The caldo de costilla has has more of a grayish brown color, and the Nishin ramen one has more of a red color. All right, let's try this now. Here we go. And I got the meat and potato. Well, the fact that I'm doing ramen and potatoes in the same bowl is kind of weird anyways, but let's see if we can get some potato, some meat, and some ramen all together. And let's try this. When it comes to food, there's no rules. There's no, like, a lot of people online, they say, well, is it okay if I make this with this instead of this? It's like, there's no rules. Just do what you feel like. Some things won't work, right? So some things just like they won't blend together. They just, they won't work together. But you won't know until you try it. And sometimes just, coming up with stuff on your own, like an amazing thing that's how recipes come into being in the first place. Is somebody just tries something different and they go like, that's pretty good. We should make that again, next time. So no rules, make it up as you go, I'm very familiar with this soup. Those noodles take it in a different direction though. And I would think that there would be like this kind of clash between the noodles and the potatoes. Not really. I don't know that I would eat this on a regular basis. I mean, I really enjoy the soup by itself. The noodles were good, but I don't know that I would like do this on a regular basis. But here it's actually pretty good. So that's a decent lunch there. Listening to Pearl Jam Yield album. I don't remember the Yield album, Sonic. But to be fair, I remember their singles, and then I think, what was it, 10? Well, I think it was the album. I had that album. I only had one Pearl Jam album, but yeah, good thing to listen to. Welcome, Sonic. Glad you could join us. Tom is back. Welcome back, Tom. All right, I think I'm caught up. All right, so let's see. What else do we have? We do have other stuff, right? Yes, we do. Okay, so I'm going to take, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to take another bite of my arepa. Because these things, when they get cold, I'm just chewing. So far, this is a really nice lunch. Okay. I still have more of that bread that I can dip in the broth. But let's take a break and try something else now. So when I'm in the grocery stores down here, Colombia is not known for their hot sauces. They do have some though. And so I was in the grocery store the other day and I found this one. This is from San Jorge, which is St. George. San Jorge Salsa de Ají. And ají is kind of their name for pepper. So just like it can be a generic type of pepper. There are two varieties of peppers that are specifically grown in Colombia. There's the ají rojo and the ají amarillo. And we've done those before, I think, on live stream. I think I crazily took a bite of the ají amarillo and was in pain for a considerable amount of time afterwards. And the ají rojo didn't seem quite as hot. But this is just salsa de ají. They don't specify what kind it is. Now this was interesting because the ingredients are water is the first ingredient, tomato paste, which is a little bit unusual to have in the hot sauce is tomato paste, but tomato paste, chili pulp, and they're not specific as to what type of ají chili that is. Maybe it's red, maybe it's yellow, it's really hard to tell. Vinegar, so it's going to be like a vinegar hot sauce, you guys are familiar with vinegar hot sauces. It's going to be like a vinegar hot sauce as opposed to kind of like a pulpy, pepper-rich paste. Citric acid, because there's citric acid in everything. You know what else is in here? You guys take a guess. Take a guess what else is in here, which is why I'm like, why? Why did you do this to me? This salsa, which is, where is this made? This is made in Colombia, in Bogota. It's made in Bogota. No, it has citric acid in it, Tom. We covered that. But it has something else in here that I'm just thinking to myself, why? Why did you put that in there? What possible reason would you have for putting that ingredient in ají? Pepperoni oil? I'm not even familiar with what that is. Love watching fave TV bar rescue shows in Dallas making the cheerleaders team. Well, that's nice, Sonic. Not sure what it has to do with food or travel, but that's nice. Yes, Janice, you hit the nail right on the head, and it's my head. Stevia. For some godforsaken reason, they put stevia in here. But we're committed, and we should be committed. I'm going to try it. So we'll see. Why? Because I don't think they put sugar in a lot of hot sauces. Why would you feel the need to? I'm just put it on this multigrain cracker. I could put it in the soup, but I don't want to do that because people don't do that here. I was expecting it to be sweet, artificially sweet. Oh, it has some heat. It definitely has some heat. Really strong vinegar flavor. Mm-hmm. The stevia is insignificant, but I think if they put that same amount of sugar in there, it would be insignificant too. Not really getting the sugar. I'm not getting that chemical stevia taste, so it's okay. This is it's a very spicy vinegar-based sauce. What would it go good on? Wings, maybe? Like chicken? But specific with wings. I think it would go good on that. Yeah, I don't see using that as a table sauce per se, like something like Secret Aardvark where you would use it for like just about anything. As a kind of a handy table sauce. And really getting that might be nice on French fries, I think. Yeah. Or if you had like something you were going to put ketchup on and you wanted to kind of kick that ketchup a little bit, put a little bit of this in it, that'd be really nice. So I'm going to give it a thumbs up, especially because they didn't mess me up with the stevia. It's John Taffer, host of Bar Rescue. So would it be good on kumquats? It's surprising, Tom, that of hot sauces and fruit, a lot of those actually do go together. Like mango and habanero. But I think kumquat is like sour, so I don't know. I mean, it might be nice to add like the kumquat to that. And like to put it on a kumquat and eat it. I don't know how that would work, but like to add kumquat to that might be nice because it gives it a kind of a fruity, citrusy flavor. I think that would probably go okay. All right, so I'm going to have another bite of this. If you guys don't mind, That's okay. And then we'll do some more travel talk. Yeah, I like that. So, yeah, Sonic. Well, it's been done. So, Food Rescue is what? Not Hell's Kitchen. What is that show that what Gordon Ramsay did, where he would go into a restaurant and he would try to save the restaurant from going under because, and so there's stuff like that already. Great idea, Sonic, but no, it's been done. I have Amazon Secret Aardvark Sauce, Christmas Story, if you're interested, Val. Well, it has to do with food and Secret Aardvark Sauce. Of course I'm interested. Go ahead, shoot. Kitchen Nightmares, thank you very much, Sonic. Yeah, that's kind of what you're talking about. So, I can't fix food. I do not consider myself a chef. I sort of consider myself a cook because I make stuff, but I'm not at the level, not even at Nashi's level. Like if you ever watched Nashi's show or Tom's, but Tom's a cook and was a chef. So on Nashi's level and Tom's level, I'm not even close to that. But I make things out of necessity. Remember I told you earlier, there's no rules when it goes to food. So it's like, if I can't find something that I'm interested in trying, I'll make it myself. And it's really, there's no comparison to it. I can't say this doesn't taste right. This doesn't, because there's nothing to compare it to. Although somebody will come along and do it the right way. And then I'll be able to try that and go like, yeah, mine kind of sucked compared to that. But, again, I reiterate, when it comes to food, there's no rules. There are no rules. All right, so our second travel question of the day. If you were given the ability to move to any place other than where you live now, would you, and to where? So some people just love where they live and just cannot see that living anywhere else. And other people, they're kind of like I've always wanted to live in this one place. So let me ask the question: if you were given the ability to move to any place other than where you live now, would you, and to where? Let's throw that out there. While Ice Hand puts together his Secret Aardvark story. Now let's do this. So I'm going to be like nibbling at the soup, but let's do dessert. We might have done this before, like in an episode, but we're going to do it again now. So what I have here is granadilla. It's called granadilla. And this is in the passion fruit family. There's several types of passion fruit. There's kuruba, which is banana passion fruit. And my advice to you, if you ever have a chance to eat kuruba, banana passion fruit, do not eat it while it is green. Eat it while it's yellow. If you eat it when it was green, it'll completely dry your mouth up. So there's banana passion fruit. They call it banana passion fruit because it's almost shaped like a banana. And then you have regular passion fruit. It's usually kind of a purplish color. And this is granadilla, and it is in the passion fruit family. Now, I'll open it up and you'll see why, but this is one of my favorite fruits. Would move to Minnesota. Here, Sonic, don't push your luck. Wouldn't move at all. Love it here in Colorado. Yeah. I don't blame you. Been to Colorado, beautiful state. On your recommendation, I ordered 2 bottles of Secret Aardvark hot sauce from Amazon for Christmas present. Instead, they sent 2 bags of Secret Aardvark sauce nuts. What? I didn't even know they made nuts. But still, Ice Hand, have you had the salsa? Have you had the Secret Aardvark sauce? Have you had it yourself? We didn't make a fuss. No, I mean, as long as it worked out, he liked it. It was good. So, that's fine. But sometimes, when you order something and they don't give you what you ordered, got to make it right. So again, granadilla, member of the passion fruit family. Let's go ahead and open this up. Just don't push it, Sonic. All right, here we go. So inside you have the seeds, see those black seeds, and then it's covered by, that's kind of light there, and it's covered by kind of a gel. And so let's see, I got my little spoon here. All right, and just kind of scoop that out. To me, it seems more like a pomegranate. You kind of see that? And so you just get that on your spoon and scoop that out. Oh, the whole thing came out. So by the way, they do have regular passion fruit down here. They call it maracuya. A big thing for the maracuya is they make like a syrup on it, and they'll put that over cheese, cuajada cheese, which is kind of that squeaky, almost curd cheese. And cheesecake. They make cheesecake with it. So it's got some juice in there. I want that juice. Now those little, I think you see that. Those little things sticking out there is what was holding on the seeds. Very strange looking, very kind of alien looking. This is not going to go away. It is not citrus, Sonic. Like I said, it's related to the passion fruit, which is not citrus, and it's not. It does kind of look like it would taste like an orange or something. It does look like a citrus fruit, but it is not. If you're familiar with passion fruit, it has a very similar flavor, and maybe like a little bit. It's very sweet. And also has this little bit of tartness to it. And those seeds you eat, they're crunchy, and they just break apart. That is a fine Colombian meal. More my rattler. Yeah, it does look like, I would make this, or I did make the same mistake the first time I saw it, is that it does look like citrus. They have a lot of things that are similar. There is, they have a thing down here called, I think I've been able to find it at Sprouts. You can find it in the States occasionally. Tree tomato. Down here it is tomate de árbol. And it looks like a tomato. And it has this, I just threw that away. It has the same kind of like stem coming out of the top of it like that. And it grows in a tree. It is actually related to the tomato, but the flavor is completely different. So it almost tastes like a cross between, like when you do a cross section, it looks like tomato, but the taste is more like a cross between plum and tomato. Not like a plum tomato, like a cross between plum and tomato. So, but yeah, you would be fair in mistaking that for a citrus fruit. Okay, so Tom wouldn't move. Those are the only answers. I guess, I'm guessing that most of you are comfortable where you are. I really like where you are. I don't know. When I think a lot of it has to do with if you have an opportunity to travel, right? And sometimes you can travel to some places and you go like, this is a wonderful place. I just don't know if I would want to live here. So when I traveled for work, like I said, I visited a lot of states and Canada, a lot of places in Canada, and saw some really wonderful things. My philosophy on travel, when I used to travel for work, I would go to a place and I would say, like, I would talk to the people that I was working with and say, what is the one thing that I can eat here that I can't eat anywhere else? And what is the one thing I can see here that I can't see anywhere else? And that like satisfied my travel and food bug, and we're talking about the 1980s, back in the 1980s. And so, so I've been to a lot of places where I've said, like, this is kind of a beautiful place. I really like this. But not necessarily any place that struck me as like, I would want to move here, right? However, I would say that there were probably a couple of places when I actually had an opportunity to move for work, that I took those opportunities because I had been to those places and said, that would be a nice place to live. So first example, like when I moved to Massachusetts, I was a kid, 6-year-old kid. I didn't really have any say in the matter. But when I was, how old was I? 30, 31, somewhere around there. I was working for a company in Massachusetts, and I was offered a job from Xerox. And they gave me two options. One was to relocate to Austin, Texas, and the one was to relocate to San Antonio, Texas. And I think the third one was Washington, D.C. I'd been to all three places. I was familiar with all three places. And I thought, Austin, Texas would be a cool place to live. And so I accepted the job. There was a lot more money in it too. So that's good. And we're talking about in a state that doesn't have state income tax, so your money goes a lot farther. But the first house I bought in Austin, Texas, and it was like, I don't remember how many square feet it was, but it was $75,000. And again, this is back like around 1990, maybe 92, somewhere around there. But that's what brought me to Texas. And the fact that I had visited Austin, Texas, and said, I think I would like to live here. I moved to Austin, Texas, and I did live there for 13 years. And then I was laid off from I had a series of jobs there, over 13 years, of course. And then the last job that I had there, I was working on contract. My contract was about to run up. I had nothing lined up and nothing to keep me there. I didn't own the house anymore. There's nothing to keep me in Texas. And I got a job offer to work for a company in Pasadena, California. So I was used to working remotely, as I was a assistant engineer, sales engineer. They call it different things, where I would travel for work. It didn't matter where I was based. And they said, no, we have a contact center. You'd have to work out of our contact center here in Pasadena. And I will tell you that I never, ever, I had visited Southern California before and never wanted to live there. And I just had no desire to live in Southern California. And so it was 2003. I took the job, which meant that I had to relocate there. And I lived there for, 2003. And then 2015, went up to Oregon. So that we're talking about 12 years. There for 12 years. It's not that I loved it. It's not that I hated it. It's just like never wanted to live there. And then when the opportunity came to the company I worked for was relocating their facilities in Oregon and said, you want to come live in Oregon. I had been to Portland. I liked Portland. And so I took that opportunity and went to Portland. No regrets on that. I loved living in the Portland area. To me, Portland is very similar to me. It kind of had the best of two places that I really liked. One was the kind of quirkiness of Austin, Texas, even to the point where Austin, Texas's motto was always "Keep Austin Weird," and then Portland's "Keep Portland Weird." So they share the same motto, and it's kind of this really weird, hippie, quirky place that's a lot of fun. But it also very similar to the Northeast. Especially in the fall where they have leaves that change color and everything. So to me, it was like, yeah, I would want to live there. So I would say, as far as living somewhere else, the only one I really wasn't crazy about and really didn't want to do was Southern California, but had to do what I had to do. So I'm going to take another little thing of soup here because it's going to get cold, and nobody likes cold soup unless you're eating, I think, vichyssoise. Is vichyssoise cold? And gazpacho, I know gazpacho is cold. Tom and Nashies, you guys should know, right? Is vichyssoise cold? Served cold? How many people have had vichyssoise? I think it's like a fish stew. We might not be connected anymore. I'm not seeing any comments. You guys are out there, right? Somebody leave a comment. Somebody put something in the chat. Let me know you're out there. I'm not seeing anything. Good. All right. Cool. Thanks, Tom. I thought we lost everybody. That happens sometimes, and you can't always tell. And then all of a sudden, you see this big red banner that says, connection lost or something like that. Vichyssoise is served cold. Have you had it, Janice? Vichyssoise? My understanding is it's a fish soup or a fish stew. And I think it has, all right, Miguel. I think it has cream in it. Vichyssoise isn't cold. It's emotionally distant. It's just antisocial. That is some good soup. I kind of like it with the noodles in it, but I'm used to eating it without the noodles in it. Again, for those who don't remember, I'm eating my caldo de costilla with the Nishin de costilla noodles, ramen in it. All right, so let's do this. Remember, this is our sourdough bread with the cheese and the jalapeno in it, and I'm going to try to dip that in the broth and see what that does. Fresh bread, all the difference in the world. And my soup wench era. Better soup wench than soup Nazi. No ramen for you. 1 year. Oh my God, that's good. So let's talk about travel a little bit more. I have filmed some episodes. I have episodes lined up. So as you guys know, probably know, I do a regular Thursday episode. So every Thursday, I air an episode. If something is timely, let's say there's a limited time thing that comes out, we'll just throw that out when we do it. And shorts we do when we do. So as soon as we do a short, we'll edit it because they're easy and fast to edit. We'll just edit it and throw it up there. But as far as other episodes, like regular episodes, we usually do those every Thursday. And so I have episodes edited and up, going all the way into August. I have some really interesting things. So as far as travel ones go, let's see, the next one, February 5th, the Christian Science Center Maparium in Boston. And then we have, let's see, what else coming up? April 2nd, Casa Terracotta in Villa de Leyva, Colombia. It's a house made completely out of clay. It's amazing. And then on the 9th of August, we have Benson Park, which is the former Benson's Wild Animal Farm in Hudson, New Hampshire. On April 30th, we have LAXC and May Tings. Now, if those names sound familiar, it's because two very early episodes that we did. One at LAXC, we ate some foods from the steam tables at LAXC, but we didn't go into we didn't show you the inside of LAXC. LAXC is a very, very large store that they call the Thai Costco because they have it's mostly Thai stuff, but they have all kinds of Asian foods and other foods. They mostly cater to restaurants, so you can go in there. You can buy a single can of Spam, or you can buy a case of Spam. And they have restaurant supply equipment, fresh meat, fresh fish, stuff like that, LAXC. But when we did the original episode, we only did me sitting outside eating some of the food that we got at the steam table. So we made up for that, and we actually filmed at LAXC, in LAXC. And then May Tings is where we got our Thai papaya salad. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was episode 3. So that was the 3rd episode we ever did. I don't like 2 things about that episode. One is the focus was on me burning my mouth. That was it. I didn't really talk much about the flavor of it and everything, other than the Thai papaya salad. And the thing is that May Tings is not known for their Thai papaya salad. They're known for their coconut cakes, and we didn't even do the coconut cakes. So I have a segment that's called Be Kind, Rewind, in which I take these old episodes and then I kind of redo them, but I give them kind of the attention they deserve that I didn't give them back when the episodes first came out. So April 30th, we do LAXC, and because it's right across the parking lot, May Tings in the same episode. So if you're unfamiliar with our Be Kind, Rewind installments, we did Jepson's Malware, which we did just a short while ago. I don't recall when that was. Let's see, Jepson's. That was on November 20th, Jepson's Malwort. Jepson's Malwort, I think, was one of our first or second episodes. And again, it was just me drinking it and making the M face and or the Malwort face. And that was it. So when I did the Be Kind with Whine on that one in November, I made a cocktail with it and stuff. And then the other one I think that we've done so far is the atomic horseradish. We revisited atomic horseradish and then pair that against another horseradish and do that. So we will do more of those. I'll go back and do my earlier kind of cringy earlier episodes and then kind of redo those. The next episode we have coming out next or this coming Thursday on the 22nd, we have 4 episodes coming out on the same day. Usually when I do that, I stagger them by an hour. So I have like one coming out at we're talking about Pacific time. One comes out at 6, one comes out at 7, one comes out at 8, one comes out at 9. So see if you can see the pattern here. One is Mexican Nishin cup noodles. One is Latin American noodles. One is Cielo Ramen Birria Ramen noodle soup, and the other one is Samyang Buldak Taco Ramen. You see a pattern there? So we're doing. I'm going to call them 4 Latin American influenced ramen or noodles, and all 4 of those are coming out next Thursday on the 22nd. So we got a bunch of cool stuff coming up. Other stuff to film, like I said, the potato one that we're doing for Megan Zappa. We have AC/DC beer. We just found an AC/DC beer. We're gonna do that. That'll probably be short. So yeah, a lot of things going on, and I want to do more. I was going through the road trip ones. I stopped at Benson's Animal Farm. Was that it? That might be it for now. And then I got a bunch that I'm editing. This one comes out on May 14th, Rocky Ra, Colombia. So Rocky Ra is kind of this tourist town, but it's this little village where they're famous for their pottery. And they've been making pottery before the Spanish even got here in the 1500s. They're famous for their pottery. But they have this kind of like touristy area. They have gigantic pottery. When I say gigantic, I'm talking about 30 feet tall pottery. Stuff you can climb on and go in. So we have that coming up. And then I've got a bunch of other stuff that I'm in the process of editing Bristol, UK. So we spent some time in Bristol, UK. I'm editing an episode of that. Going to drive the girl's friend home and it's snowing and it's not supposed to stop till, oh my God. I'm not back before the end. Enjoyed the melange. Well, we won't. There's nothing to melange today, Jules. So you won't miss the melange. And everyone have a wonderful week. Much love. Okay, hon. When you get back from dropping the girls off later on, give me a call like after the stream and we'll talk. All right. I'm gonna have some more of this soup because I have it. So I can do more of these as well, which is basically find some local Colombian favorites, right? Some local Colombian foods and stuff, and do some episodes. I would like to try to work with some of the local chefs and see if I can do something in their restaurant and everything. But I don't know if we're going to be able to do live streams of that. That meat, that rib meat, I don't know how long they cook it for. It's just so tender. You don't even need teeth. So I could look it up, but if you guys want to help me, I don't know if we got to the bottom of the vichyssoise. Again, I know that it's fish-based. I know there's fish in it. I don't know if it's just fish or like seafood. And I also think, I want to say that there's cream in it, but I'm not absolutely sure. And I know gazpacho is a cold tomato-based soup. It's not like tomato soup. It's a tomato-based soup. I think they put it to a blender, so it has some kind of texture to it. I have had the pleasure of having gazpacho in Spain. So one of the trips I did, and unfortunately was not filming for this. It might have been pre-YouTube channel. Claudia and I used to have work where I would go to Europe. I would go to England, and specifically the office that I would have to visit. I had people working for me in that office. I was the manager of people in that office. The office was originally in Liverpool, and then we moved the office to Slough, UK. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Slough, UK, if you remember the British version of The Office, the show The Office, that took place in Slough. Slough is supposed to be like one of the most miserable cities in all of Europe. And the BBC did a feature several years back, probably like 10 years back or so, called Making Slough Happy. And they were trying to figure out how to get the people who lived in Slough to not be miserable. And if you've ever visited Slough, like if you ever watched the beginning of the show The Office, and they show you scenes of the town of Slough in the UK, you understand why. Slough is the next town over from Windsor, where Windsor Castle is. Windsor is this lovely, cute, adorable little town. Windsor Castle's there, of course, but there's all these little tea shops and stuff like that there. So it's a really nice area and everything. But then you go into Slough, and it's like Slough looks like maybe not one of the major cities in Pennsylvania, but like one of the like college. I don't know, just like one of the smaller cities in Pennsylvania from the 1960s, 1970s that has remained untouched. So when you could picture somebody like filming a movie or a TV show that takes place in the 70s there, or 60s or 70s there, because it looks like it's really been untouched since then. And that's the thing about Slough. So I would have to go to the UK office, whether it was in Liverpool for a couple of years, and then for a couple of years in Slough. And then from there, I would be there for 2 weeks, and then on the weekend, go and make a side trip. So Claudia and I went to Madrid. Another thing about Madrid is famous for their paella. We ate paella in the main plaza. I can't remember the name of the plaza, but there's this main plaza, and there's all different restaurants in there. We got paella there. It wasn't that good. And the best paella that I've ever had was for Claudia's 50th birthday here in Colombia. There was a caterer that made a paella, and it was like the best paella I ever had. So it was just odd that the best paella I ever had was in Colombia and not in Madrid. And this should be on your bucket. If you ever have a desire to visit Spain and Madrid is on your list of places to visit, then you have to check out Restaurante de Sobrino de Botín, which is a restaurant of the nephew of Botín. And it is the oldest continuously operating restaurant in the world. It opened in 1725. Their specialty is roast suckling pig. Now, the thing is, when you go in there, they're very, very friendly, and they're like, just walk around, just take a look around and everything. The funny thing is, you look at the floors, and there's like, you can see like a tile and linoleum and wood and like all worn off in different places. When something's been open since 1725, you're going to see like different layers and everything. But they tell you to go look in the kitchen. They tell you to go, you go down in the wine cellar and you see these bottles of wine with dust on top of them and everything. Is really old bottles of wine, but it's really, really a really kind of cool experience to do. So if you get to Madrid, highly recommend that you do that. Val's going to eat some more soup, because the soup's not going to eat itself. Now, let's talk about one other thing. And hopefully, maybe somebody knows the answer to this, or maybe you don't. I don't know. Does anybody know what happened to John King? We have not seen John King in a while. And I don't know if any of you guys were in touch with him personally and everything, but I have not seen John King in a long time. And I'm just hoping he's okay. But the reason I bring him up is because when we would have suggestions as to what to make, his would almost always involve maggots. Like, make this with maggots, make this with maggots, make this with maggots. So there was an article in the Smithsonian magazine that was talking about maggots, how they're an incredibly efficient source of protein, might make them the next superfood. Now the difference here, let me put the link up there. There's the link if you guys want to take a look at that. Now the thing about that is, there's a difference between maggots and like what they call, mealworms. Right? Mealworms aren't worms. Mealworms are the larvae of beetles. So they're not actually worms, because worms stay in worm status, and they're not actually maggots, because maggots are the larvae of flies. And so I never shied from making stuff with maggots, when John would request it. So I think he requested making the Salisbury steak and roasted maggot sandwich, and we did that. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Val, where do you get maggots? If you go to a really, really well-stocked pet store, they raise them for food for like lizards and fish and stuff like that. And so you can get them there. Because I don't recommend going into a dumpster and getting them, but to get them, and they're kind of on the expensive side. It's like $20 for a little package, like about that big. So we did his Salisbury steak and roasted maggot. And the other thing I did with maggots is that Matt Zion from Reckless Eating had a it was like a bucket list item for him. And we talked about this on a regular basis, about this being a bucket list item, about having casu marzu. Casu marzu is a cheese. It is a Pecorino Romano cheese that is made in Sardinia. And Sardinia is an island off the coast of Italy. And what they do is, while the cheese is ripening, they cut the top of the rind off, and they leave it open. And there's these flies. I can't remember what type of fly it is. It's a very specific type of fly. It lays its eggs on the cheese, and then they put the top back on. And so what happens is the eggs hatch. The larvae eat the cheese. They're in there. Some are alive, some are dead. They're whatever is in there. And then when it's ready, they take out the cheese, they take the top off of that, they take, a piece of bread or whatever, then they scoop that cheese out and eat it. It is illegal in most countries in the world to import it. So like if you took a trip to Sardinia and you somehow managed to get it, you wouldn't, they would never let you into any other country with this maggot cheese. For the main reason that it has fly larvae in it. And if they turn into flies, goodbye. So that'll wreck the ecosystem. My understanding is it's illegal in Sardinia. It's illegal to eat them in Sardinia, to get it in Sardinia, but it's one of those things like they've been doing it for so long that people just kind of look the other way. So hey, James Western is here. James, I'm going to be honest with you. I do not recall seeing you in here before. So either you have changed your name and we knew you by something else, or I'm getting old and I don't remember, or you're new to the channel. So either way, remind me, how we know you. And if we don't know you yet and you're new to the channel, what brings you to our channel and where are you from? So I don't need street addresses or anything like that. So just, a closest metropolitan area. You can narrow it down to a country if you feel like it. Oh, first time. Okay, which is why we didn't recognize your name. I said your name wrong. I was saying Western. It's West End. Which reminds me of a story about Boston, which I'll tell you in a second. So welcome, James. Where are you from? And what brings you to our channel? Or how did you hear about us? Or what brings you here? My story about Weston is when I was 6 years old, we moved to Massachusetts, in the Boston area, greater Boston area. And I don't know how familiar you are with the Boston accent. If you've seen anything with Matt Damon and the Afflecks in it, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've seen the Dunkin' Donuts commercials with the fake Dunkin' Donut commercial from Saturday Night Live with Casey Affleck, or the one with Bill Burr. Is it Bill Burr? Is that how you say his name? Bill Burr doing the Sam Adams commercial on Saturday Night Live. That Boston accent. Well, the thing is, here I am, a 6-year-old kid speaking generic American. Right, newscaster English. Hi, Doodle. Doodle's back. Come on. There we go. It's Doodle, everybody. So speaking what do they call that? A Mid-Atlantic accent, and hearing the accent in Massachusetts took some getting used to, and I had to try to translate it. So I remember I remember in fourth grade, not fourth grade. In fourth grade, I was asking one of the kids, and I said, "Hey, who do you think our teacher is going to be this year?" Is a teacher? A teacher's Mr. Checker. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I'm translating, and I'm thinking our teacher's name is Mr. Checker. So what happens is we're sitting in the classroom, and this woman walks in, and she writes her name on the board, on the chalkboard, and her name is Miss DiCecca. It's an Italian name, Dicicca or something like that. Miss DiCecca. So I got that one wrong. The other time I got it wrong was they had just opened up Copley Place, which is a mall in Boston. It's near, it's right off Copley Plaza, but I didn't know exactly where it was. So I took the subway in, took the T in because I wanted to check it out. And I remember asking somebody on the street, I said, where is, do you know where the new Copley Plaza or Copley Place mall is? And he says, yeah, it's over by the Westin Hotel. I'm like, okay, great, thanks. So I'm looking for the Western Hotel. I'm walking around for the longest time looking for the Western Hotel, and I can't find a Western Hotel. But I can't find a Westin Hotel. And once I found the Westin Hotel, I found the mall. So I had to do translation like that in Texas too. I remember a good friend of mine who lived in Texas when I was moving to Austin, Texas. She lived in Austin already, and I was asking her for directions, and she says, "Well, you come down William Canyon, and then once you cross Man Shack, it's right there on the left-hand side." I'm like, okay. So I drive down there, and I drive all the way down William Canyon, all the way to the end of William Canyon, and then all the way back to I-35. They don't call it the 35 there; they call it I-35. So I drive all the way back to 35, and I don't see it. I went all the way up and all the way back. And so I called her and I said, I drove all the way up and all the way back. I did not see Manchac. How far is it? She said, it's about halfway. And I said, well, how do you spell this? And she says, Manchaca. And I said, that's Manchaca. And she goes, no, it's Manchac. I'm like, okay, all right, I'll find it now. I was able to find it, but I'm looking for Manchac, like Manshak. And here the name of the street is Manchaca. So, there we go. Yes, it is Doodle. So, James, so you're new, so you have not seen Doodle. Doodle is the Prince of Darkness. So Doodle used to be in a lot of the episodes. Usually what he does is he acts cute and, he does all this cute stuff and he essentially just wants a snack. But we try to keep him a little bit to say hi. You're going to say hi to everybody, Doodle? You're going to say hi to everybody out there? It's your adoring public. You know Janice. Janice, Doodle. She said hi. You going to say hi? All right, you want another snack? Is that why you're here? You're here for a snack? All right, fine. But one more. I'm just going to give you a little one, okay? He's already ready to run. What he does is he usually takes the snack and he runs into the living room and eats the snack out there. So those of you, well, that's kind of small. Yeah, it's good enough though. All right, so those of you who with pets, with dogs, these are from Trader Joe's. He loves these, and these are really good. So what these are they're smoked chicken tenders dog treats. The only ingredient here is chicken. So like, hang on a second. Let me do this, if I can. So here's a piece. It tastes like chicken. It tastes like smoked chicken. Now, if you were to eat that, you would like, it doesn't taste like chicken. It's the texture of jerky, but it's not the flavor of jerky because there's no spices in it, no salt, nothing. Just chicken, just smoked chicken. It's actually pretty good. And that's why I don't mind giving it to him. Because, like I said, all this chicken. Do you want a little piece, Doodle? You just want a little piece there? There you go. Little piece is better for him, I think. All right, so in our grand experiment, do I need to turn the light down? So what's happening is we're getting to around 6 o'clock, which here is around sundown. So between 6 and 6:30, sun will be down. But with that light, I have to back that up a little bit. Now, I wish there was some controls on there that told you a number so you could set that each time. So as the sun sets, that kicks in and it's not too bright. It is what it is. So Titletown, USA? I don't think I'm familiar with that, although you do have cheese there. So I'm guessing it's somewhere in Wisconsin, maybe? That's a good question. So Wisconsin is famous for its cheese. Is there any place in the other places in the United States that's famous for its cheese? Any kind of cheese? Looks all right now, but yeah. I was a little washed out. Oh, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Okay. Yeah, like the guys who go to the football games with the cheese on their head. Do you consider yourself a cheesehead, James? I don't know. Like sometimes people hear that and they think they wear it like a badge of honor, and then other people think of it as an insult. What about you, James? You consider yourself a cheesehead? What about you, James? You consider yourself a cheesehead? So on the subject of travel, we were talking about travel, and we were talking about episodes that I have. Own one and a cheese baseball cap. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the in the Boston area. Yeah, they sort of have a football team, but it's not really in Boston. It's almost in Connecticut or Rhode Island or something like that. I'm trying to think of where I lived that really didn't have a lot of sport. Portland. When I lived in Portland, Oregon, they had the Trailblazers, which is the basketball team. They didn't have a baseball team, and they didn't have a football team. I don't know if that's changed since 2019 when I was there last. I don't know if they got one. But I mean, heck, they didn't have professional sports teams in Las Vegas until recently. So what is the Golden Knights, I think they call them, the hockey team? And I think they have a football team too. Nashies, you would know. Is there a professional football team in Las Vegas? So what do you have baseball as well? What is that? MBL, Major League Baseball League. Okay, the Golden Knights. The Raiders ended up there. Okay, they've been all over the place. So they were the Oakland Raiders, and then they were the LA Raiders, and I guess now they're up there. And the A's are moving there. Oh, okay, the Oakland A's. You're talking about the Oakland A's? Nashies? The Raiders moved to Vegas from Oakland. Oh, okay. And the A's are also Oakland, are they not? The Oakland A's? Do I have that right? I'm not a big sports person, so yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah, you'll have everything there. But California has enough sports teams, right? San Francisco has their share of sports teams. They have enough. They can spare some. Wow, we are getting down there. One quick thing I kind of wanted to go over is we were talking about episodes that I have yet to film. So we do have, this is an old one, but it's a lot, I call it Las Vegas Fail. I went with Reckless Eating to Las Vegas. We filmed a We Go Main show in Las Vegas, and a lot of things went wrong with when I was filming. So we do a Las Vegas Fail. We're going to have, we did an episode. These are stuff I have to edit. Avalon, California, the Getty Center, and I think we're going to have Tom in that one. Heritage Square Museum in LA Historic Core, Liverpool, UK, Los Angeles City Hall, Norton Simon Museum, Pierce Brothers Westwood Memorial Park, Portland, Oregon, Rose Bowl Flea Market, Salisbury, which not Salisbury Steak, but where Stonehenge is. The Gamble House in Pasadena, La Brea Tar Pits, Original Farmers Market. I got to edit that. When Janice and I went to the Original Farmers Market, and I got a bunch of footage, and I have to edit that. And the 2025 Wiener Fest, the 2025 What the Fluff Fest in Somerville, Massachusetts, and In-N-Out. And I know a lot of you people from California are probably saying to yourself, "That what's so interesting about In-N-Out?" Well, it's kind of a historic episode, right? So first we went to the In-N-Out, the replica of the very first In-N-Out, and it's they call it a museum. There's a guy that staffs it, but they don't have any food there, only because if they open that as a drive-through, which the original one was, the cars would be backed up to the highway and it would not be good. So they don't serve food at the replica of the original In-N-Out burger. It is also on the site of the first In-N-Out burger, which is the first proper restaurant and they have pictures of it there, and it looks like another fast food restaurant. Then just across or under the bridge on the other side, they have In-N-Out University, where the managers go through training. They have the company store, which is where you can buy souvenirs, In-N-Out souvenirs. And I got this one because I have that shelf full of souvenirs. So there's a double, a shake, and their crappy fries. So I have that. And then we went to the oldest remaining In-N-Out, which is in Pasadena, California. It is number 5, the 5th one that was built. That's still there. And we got we got just the basic cheeseburger, fries, shake. And then we went to the site of where the cheeseburger was invented at the right spot in Pasadena, California, and we ate our In-N-Out meal there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So even if you're familiar with In-N-Out, you're probably still going to find a lot of fun because we're giving you stuff about and from In-N-Out that you might not be familiar with. So Denver Broncos have a tough road ahead of them. Why is that, Tom? Playing so well in the quarterback broke his ankle. That's never. They only have one quarterback. I don't know how that works. Like teams have one quarterback, 2 quarterbacks, whatever. So I don't know. Like at my age, is it worth getting back into? Or I would say getting back into. I was never into sports. So at some point, is it worth getting into sports? I don't know. I know the names. That's about it. Well, I can see by the clock on the wall that we are done for today. We're not going to do goût mélange because there's nothing to goût mélange, right? Everything was kind of a meal. Did you guys enjoy this format? This was kind of a loose format. We ate some Colombian food. We talked about travel. We talked about food, stuff like that. Did you guys like this format? We can do more like this. And we'll just keep it the same name. I called it Whine and Dine, and we can keep it the same so you guys kind of know what it is. Okay, so just like I said, let me know whether you like it. You like that format, everything. Again, we're going to try to do some different stuff. I'm going to try to do some live streams with some other people, do collaboration live streams. Maybe not for a whole 2 hours, maybe for an hour or something like that. We'll try to set up some collaboration live streams, and we'll be doing some more collaborations as well. And and just change it up a little bit, add some more stuff to it and everything. It's a new year and time to do some new stuff. So just want to try that and see how you guys feel about that. So once again, we had a lot of old friends returning. We had some new friends, people that we didn't know. It was like James Weston. Everybody, please give James Weston a warm and hearty Trippy Food welcome. And hopefully we will see you again soon, James, maybe on the next live stream. And also the people that are in our community that have their own channels, Nashies, Old Guy in Colorado, Janice Yamanaka. Check out their channels. They have some wonderful content. If you don't know who they are, or you don't know how to get to their channel, if you go to our main YouTube channel and you scroll down to where it says featured channels, they're all listed in there. So check them out. I wouldn't suggest them to you if I didn't think that you would enjoy them. So check them out. And when you do check them out, if you like them, and I know you will, subscribe to the channel. And when you subscribe, click that little bell, and then that will let you know every time they come up with an episode or they're going to do a live stream or something along those lines. And be sure to like the videos. So click the thumbs up on the videos. Be sure to like the videos because that helps them out too. My other question is, if you enjoy Trippy Food and you've been enjoying Trippy Food for a while and you haven't subscribed, well, what's stopping you? So if you have not, then please, if you get a chance, subscribe. Don't create fake accounts or anything else like that. I mean, just I want you to, you're part of our community and everything. I just want to recognize you as part of our community and everything. And so if you enjoy our channel and you're a regular here, and you have not subscribed, then please do so. So we again really missed you guys. I think we haven't live streamed for like 3 weeks or something like that. But again, it's kind of under the weather. But it is really nice to be back with you again. I mean this. I mean, totally mean this. You are a wonderful, amazing community. I couldn't ask for a better, community to have on a live stream. And I always enjoy spending time with you and sharing things with you. So hope the feeling is mutual, and I hope we will see you again on the next live stream. And I hope you enjoy our videos in the meantime. So just remember, everybody, that it is crazy out there. So please, please take care of yourselves, take care of others, and we will see you soon. Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming.